Coach Cahill, Fennell, and the Vaqueros tonight. Ball's in the air, tip control by the orange-clad Vaqueros, and we are underway here in Waco. First game of the new season, UTRGV and Baylor.
Jamin, when you look at Baylor's defense, they'll switch 1 through 5 because they're all long. Except for Obi on the floor, everybody is above 6'6".
Give you the starters here in just a moment. Mid-range jumper, right side, no good. Dan Skillings Jr., a transfer from Cincinnati, chases down the loose ball. Here's Tunde Yesufu. Misfires on that shot, but an offensive rebound. So the starters for Baylor. Another miss, and rebounded by the big man underneath. Brankovic. Here are the starters for the Vaqueros tonight. Wright, Christensen, Cotton, McGee, and Brankovic. And first points of the night, first points of the season, a 3 from the right side.
Now, you don't typically see pick and pop bigs, but when you have one, it can definitely be your luxury right there. Good shot.
So a 3-0 lead. There's an alley-oop, and ball becomes wedged up there. Cameron Carr, I think, hit his head on the backboard. Now, that's some hops.
He can definitely get up. he can fly with the best of them. But right there, you saw the pass just a little bit late. Good vision, but take a look at this. He saw it, but he saw it a little bit late. Threw it too far. Maybe if he'd seen it a snap earlier, it would have been a good alley-oop.
Inbounds, it comes to Carr on the left wing. There's Michael Ratai. Did not play in the World University games, but played for the German national team, his native country. Drive by Yesufu. Banker is too strong, no good. And the Vaqueros take it the other way, leading 3-0.
And that's what happened, J-Mo. You let the big hit one on the first possession. Now you overplay him, and as a result of you overplaying him, he can drive right by you, get right to the rim. That's a good 5 points right there.
And a 5-0 lead for UTRGV. Bears looking for their first points of the night. Yesufu gives to Obi Agbum. Agbum outside, a transfer from Wyoming. Yesufu 3 rims out. Michael Ratai, the putback, rims out. I don't know how he missed that one.
I don't know, that's point blank, but we're seeing a lot of settling by Baylor on the offensive side. 4 threes already in the first 2 minutes. That's not how Scott Drew wants to play, especially with this team.
Still a 5-0 lead. The big man, 2 more. He's got 7. UTRGV leads Baylor 7-0.
But this is what happens, J-Mo, when you don't have a real big. Ratai is really a 4-man. He's not a true 5. They are looking to go at him right now. Brankovic is down low, going to work. He sees the mismatch. Good touch, good fadeaway. A quick 7 by Brankovic. He's looking good right now, J-Mo.
And a quick timeout by Scott Drew. All set for Scott Drew. Due to the Baylor staff, Ron Sanchez, most recently at Virginia. Here we go, back to play. Obi Agbum drives in, extra pass. Yesufu left it short, and the rebound taken away by UTRGV. Corey Cotton into the front court for the Vaqueros. Boy, another very makeable shot there, just didn't fall. And there is Cotton, spins to the bucket for 2 more, and a 9-0 lead for UTRGV.
Well, I think this is the time. We're going to find out quickly who is the leader right now for Baylor. Who do they rely on when they need a bucket?
Yesufu on the left wing, a 3, no good. Loose ball tipped out by Michael Ratai, but 2, Marvin McGee.
And J-Mo, I wouldn't be surprised if they sub out Yesufu right now. It seems as almost if this is his first game, and which it is. But it seems as if he's kind of pressing the issue right now, not really letting the game come to him. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a quick sub.
Yeah, he's 0 for 5 to start this game here tonight in the first 3.5 minutes. Drive on the baseline, and a whistle, and a foul. That is on Baylor. Let's see if we have free throws coming. There's a little size coming off the bench, King. This is Caden Powell who comes in. Midway High School product here in Central Texas. Played at Rice, great career there. Grad transfer to Baylor this season.
And this is what they're going to need. They're going to need a 5-man to come in and give them consistent production, because you don't see the rim protection that you typically would see on a Baylor squad with Ratai playing the 5. But Caden Powell, Mayo, those guys can come off the bench and provide that rim protection that Scott Drew is used to having.
So Isaac Williams, the 4th, is in. Shot rejected by Cameron Carr. Starts the break the other way. Ball's going to stay with Baylor. Tremendous defensive play by Cam Carr.
And we talk about the rim protection right here. Well, when you can switch 1 through 5, this right here is just good timing by Cam Carr. Catches it before the ball drops. Good awareness. They almost got beat on that backdoor cut. But Cam Carr saves the day, gets it out there, and protects the rim.
So the Bears will inbound on their baseline, still looking for their first points of the night. 3.5 minutes in, first half. Agbum for 3, and it's good. A 3 by Obi Agbum, first points of the season for the Baylor Bears.
And that's what he can do. When he was at Wyoming last year, he was an elite-level bucket getter, one of the most sought-after transfers in the whole portal because he could put the ball through the hoop at a high level.
King, you know this, he was the most outstanding player in the World University Games for Baylor, which advanced all the way to the gold medal game. Agbum the run out for the Bears, down 9-3. Pass back to Carr, firing for 3 and hitting back-to-back threes by Baylor.
And so far, Obi Agbum showing that he can also assist. He can also pass the rock and dish it out too. Right there, good pass to Cam Carr.
Bears missed their first 7 shots of the night. They've hit back-to-back threes to close the deficit to 3. Brankovic, top of the key, will drive in. Shot no, tip no. Isaac Williams the 4th. The run out for the Bears. To Agbum for 3. Oh, it's good. 3 threes in a row by Baylor to tie the game.
He heats up quick, J-Mo. And I love his energy. Talking to him, letting him know. Getting his team fired up.
9-9 game, 15-18 on the clock, first half. Brankovic an air ball from the top of the key. Here's Cam Carr.
Gotta find Agbum again.
Carr, baseline jumper, no good. Ratai the putback attempt, and he is fouled. He'll have free throws coming following a timeout.
Obi Agbum putting on a show. They said they needed an answer on the offensive side. Well, we've learned quickly. He's picking up where he left off. Obi Agbum starting his debut off the right way.
Their Bryce Drew a few weeks ago. That was fun.
You know, Scott Drew is 23 years in, and I feel like he doesn't look like he's aged. I feel like he looks the same.
How's that hair still that dark?
I don't know how he does it.
How's that happen?
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
It's that youthful attitude he has and positive outlook he has.
And all the cups of coffee.
And, of course, the culture of joy that's very prevalent here. Michael Ratai, his first points in a Baylor uniform. Couple of free throws, and Baylor leads for the first time tonight, 11-10. UTRGV attacks, left open. A 3 is good.
And, J-Mo, that was textbook of how to break a press. Get the ball up, push it ahead, make the right decisions, be under control.
That was Zay Blake with the three-pointer. Now 12-11, scramble for the loose ball on the floor. That's what Darren George is going to tell us. Great crew here tonight. Brett Smith, Darren George, Kevin Patterson, Keith Patterson, our 3 officials for this season opener. There's Patterson, there's Darren George. You know, it's the first game for everybody, but those officials seem like they're in mid-season form already.
That's because they've been working so many exhibition games. When you have a million like literally last week, I turned on the television on a Friday or Saturday, and it was about 6 or 7 high-level games going on at one time.
Yeah.
And the season hadn't even started yet.
Baylor played at Indiana, actually in Indianapolis against Indiana Sunday a week ago. 12-11 is the score. UTRGV on top, into the paint. Working around Carr, shot no good, but a whistle and a foul. Crowd's not gonna like it, but the foul is on Cam Carr, his first.
And you can tell right now, J-Mo, UTRGV on the offensive side, they try to make you guard one-on-one. They open up the lanes, really spread you out, have a bunch of false actions, and make you guard one-on-one. So if you can't stay in front of your man and you really can't guard without fouling, we'll be in for a long night against this Vaquero team. Take a look at this right here. Does a good job playing off of 2 feet. If you can't guard this, if you reach your hands in, because he's under control, because he's playing off of 2 feet, he makes it extremely tough. You have to be disciplined on the defensive side when you're going up against this team.
Corey Cotton at the line, 6'6" junior from Miami. Second one's good. 14-11 lead for UT Rio Grande Valley after Baylor briefly took an 11-9 lead. Off the bench for the Bears, here's J.J. White on for the first time tonight. White, a 6'1", fifth-year player from Lawrenceville, Georgia. And let's see, Dan Skillings Jr. is back out there for the Bears. Tunde Yesufu is back out there for Baylor as well. Bears down by 3. White to Williams. Williams works around his defender. Shot up, no, but a whistle and a foul.
Once again, another perfect example of getting to the paint, playing off 2 feet, taking your time, getting what you want, and as a result, if the defender does not stay disciplined, you can do whatever you want and you get to the free throw line. Good job right there by Isaac Williams, playing off 2 feet, a very underrated skill that a lot of guards need to possess.
Foul is on Marshall Destrefu, his first of the night. Destremo, his first personal foul. First free throw is good by Williams. Another one coming to pull Baylor within 1. Can't do it there. And the rebound is pulled down by Marvin McGee, the third. 2-point lead for UTRGV. Last meeting between these two was 2006. UTRGV came into Waco and won the game over Baylor.
Oh, wow.
They've played the 8th meeting all time. There's a bucket and a chance at a 3-point play.
Ooh. Zay Blake coming into the game and putting on a show. This is such a high-level shot. Let's get to the replay. Because, goodness, look at this. Leaning into the defender, shooting a left-handed floater while you're fading away, getting the contact. J-Mo, that's such a high-level shot that not too many guys can make.
And he completes the 3-point play. Zay Blake, grad transfer from Washington, D.C. Now a 6-point lead for UTRGV. Foul on the perimeter. As Coach Fennell looks on for the UTRGV bench. Destremo with that foul, that is his second. There's inbound to Williams, back near midcourt in a trap. So the way to Yesufu. Corner, Skillings, Jr., 3, no good. Loose ball rebounded by Marvin McGee. (17-12), not 18-12, so a 5-point lead for UTRGV. Dribbling on the perimeter is Jalen Washington. Shot up and in, another 3 from the left side by Marvin McGee.
Hey, and this is what happens, J-Mo, when you play against teams like this where you are the heavy favorite. You give them confidence. Now they feel like they can really beat you. And you can tell the way that this team is playing, this Vaquero team, they are playing extremely confident right now.
Well, after Baylor briefly had the lead, UTRGV on an 11-1 run. There's a foul away from the ball. It's going to be against Baylor on Caden Powell, so the ball goes over to the Vaqueros.
And that could have gone either way. I don't necessarily think that was a move in charge, but I see why the referee called it from his point of view.
Michael Ratime back on the floor. Obi Agbam back on. There's Caden Powell and Isaac Williams, the fourth, to the Baylor bench.
This is when, if you're Baylor right here, J-Mo, you have to rely on your defense. I think they're relying too heavily on their offense, but not getting enough stops.
Nice pass underneath. Banker is good underneath. Great assist. And the bucket by Quo Agua.
They seem lost on the defensive side. No backside tag, which allows an easy slip to the rim off of the ball screen. Baylor's not locked in defensively.
Agua, the 6'6" grad student, the Canadian. 3 by J.J. White is no good. And a whistle and a foul on the rebound attempt. Going to go against UTRGV.
And I think part of that issue, J-Mo, is 8 out of 12 of Baylor shots have been from behind the arc. There is a lot of settling going on, and I already know in this next media timeout, that will be Scott Drew's point of emphasis. You have to stop settling and get to the rim.
So Baylor to inbound, trailing by 10 now, 22-20. UTRGV on top. Nearing the 12-minute mark here in the first half. Inbounds to Yesufu. Yesufu, a great story. Leaner, no good, fighting for his miss, can't get to it. Rebounded by Zay Blake. Blake gives the ball to Agua. Back outside, now Agua in the paint. Near steal, knocked away, picked up and put in. Oh, the ball is rolling UTRGV's way. Kai Dixon with the bucket. The visitors from Edinburgh lead over Baylor 24-12.
There's just no flow to the offense right now for this Baylor Bear team. They look lost, not only defensively like I mentioned earlier, but offensively as well.
16-1 run by UTRGV. Nice give and go, lay in, make it 18-1. Layup, Vaqueros, timeout, Baylor.
UTRGV coming into Waco, trying to pull off this upset. Absolutely picking apart Baylor's defense. Baylor needs some answers, but UTRGV
at Louisville prior to that, you know, he's unfazed. He has his team ready to play in an environment like this.
And you can tell they really put an emphasis on attacking mismatches. If Baylor's going to play high above the three-point line, they're going to cut back door like we've seen. He's done a really good job being efficient with their offense.
26-12 the lead for UTRGV. 12 of their 26 points are from the bench. Caden Powell takes the feed on the baseline left, kicks it back outside. Agbum's three is in. Second made three tonight by Obi Agbum.
And that's a good shot right there because Agbum's hot, but however, the ball has not gotten to the paint. There's not a lot of paint touches where you can get to the paint and kick out for open shots, and right there, that's a contested three.
Actually, the third made three. Skilling saves it inbounds. A dunk by Cam Carr at the other end.
That's what Baylor has to do. They have to rely on their defense and get stops. Let their defense turn into easy offense.
Agbum trying to draw the charge, can't do it, but the ball is stolen away. Carr the other way, the lay-in, no good. Caden Powell fights for the rebound. He'll kick it outside. Michael Ratai to Agbum. Another three is off the mark. And a fight for the rebound. It's going to be a foul on the Vaqueros.
2 back-to-back possessions where we've seen Baylor be able to get stops and then turn those into transition. I mean, the last one was a transition bucket, but they got stops, and now that leads to their offense. And I think that's what they have to do time and time again, J-Mo. They have to let their defense lead and rely on that side of things to where they're not relying so heavily on their offense, especially when they're settling for threes and not really getting to the paint.
Line change for UTRGV. 5 out, 5 in. With 10:05 on the clock here in the first half. UTRGV leading 26-17. Caden Powell gives to Michael Ratai. Ratai, a reach-in foul is called.
But that's also going to be a question mark for this team. You talk about how they didn't have a true point guard. They don't have that many guys that can really get into the lane. Almost like that team with Davion, with Jared, with Mace. I mean, you had 3 right there in your starting lineup that at any moment could break their defender down, get to the lane, and make a play for others. Baylor, this team does not have many of those guys.
Foul on Dane Christensen, his first. Near steal by Christensen, and it is a turnover by Baylor off of Michael Ratai, the Oregon State transfer, and out of bounds.
And I think that's the reason why they set up for so many threes, J-Mo, because they don't have the guys to be able to get into the paint and live there to where they can create easier shots. I think that is a question mark that needs to be answered really fast by Scott Drew. And I know he's been looking for a solution.
Brankovic bounces down low. Shot blocked by Agbum. What a defensive play by Obi Agbum. Ahead to Carr, who drains the three in transition.
That's a big-time shot right there. Shot that from almost the parking lot, J-Mo.
8-3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
8-0 run by the Bears over the last minute and a half. They pull within 6 at 26-20. Marvin McGee dribbles on the perimeter. Brankovic a three. No good. Rebound to Agbum. Agbum pushes the tempo. To Ratai for three. No good. Skips over the rim. Skillings had it, lost it, and was fouled from behind.
Obi Agbum getting up right here. Thought he had a layup. Psych. Obi Agbum coming out of nowhere, getting that blocking. Good defense. Leads to easy offense. The transition three by Cam Carr, knocking it down from deep range. They need more of those plays.
There's a 5 of 14 from three-point range, 6 of 21 overall. UTRGV has cooled off just a bit. They were shooting 67% when they had that 14-point lead on the Bears. Still very nice 59% from the floor. Dan Skillings Jr. shot no good, but Tunde Yesufu puts it in.
And that's what Tunde has to do. As a freshman, you're going to have your ups and downs this season. We know he's one of the premier freshmen in the country, but he has to do a better job of letting the game just come to him.
Yesufu, his first basket in a Baylor uniform, and a couple of free throws earlier. There's a double dribble and a turnover by UTRGV's Corey Cotton. And the Bears have the ball back within 4 with 8.5 minutes to play first half. Turnovers, 3 apiece.
And that's 4 stops in a row from Baylor. You can tell there's a sense of urgency on the defensive side. They're finally locking in and settling down in this game.
Here's Isaac Williams, the fourth. Watch this guy when he gets going. He is cat quick. Gives it away to Obi Agbum. Now to Yesufu. Agbum at the free throw line. Bounces for Ratai. Extra pass. Reverse shot is good by Yesufu with a foul.
What a pass right there from Ratai. In the post, the dump off, good cut right there by Yesufu. I think this is when Yesufu is at his best. When he's making the simple plays, good cut right there. Not trying to press or force the issue, just letting the game come to him. This is how you work your way in. This is how you start settling in and settling down if you're a young freshman.
Can't add the free throw. So it's 26-24. Baylor on a 12-2 run over the last 2.5 minutes. The point guard bringing it up is Always Right. What's his name? Oh, Always Right.
It has to be one of the best names in college basketball.
Isn't that great?
Easily.
You know what his brother's name is? All.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Always Wrong.
No, All Right is his brother, and Always Right gets the bucket down low.
All right and always
and
right.
Always.
So
love
I guess
that.
That's a family of people that are never wrong, huh?
Your last name is Right. 28-24. Things have been almost all right tonight for UTRGV. Cam Carr, little fade away and the paint is good.
I think Cam Carr is so good. He just knows how to get to his spot, and he's such a talent at 6'6".
2-point game, 28-26. Contested three, right corner, shot no good. There's Katire take the lead on this possession. Isaac Williams cut off. Back to Ratai, to Carr again, another deep three. Yesufu fighting for position, ball out of bounds, and over to Baylor. That'll get us to a timeout.
From Caden Powell or whoever, I think that's when the team goes to a different level, because not only do you have size and athleticism on the perimeter, but you have size down low and you have rim protection to add to that.
So it's Baylor's ball coming out of the timeout. Bears down by 2. There's an air ball by Obi Agbum, goes out of bounds untouched, and over to the Vaqueros. I'm guessing that's not what Coach Drew drew up in that timeout huddle.
Not a bad look, especially for a guy who's hit a few. You just want a better result.
UTRGV with the ball and a 2-point lead. 6:45 on the clock, first half. Brankovic backing down Caden Powell. Powell trying to hold his ground. Turnaround shot partially blocked by Caden Powell.
And that's what Caden Powell can do for this Baylor team. Protect the rim at a high level right there.
Sets the screen for Carr. Ball around the perimeter. Now to Obi Agbum. Into the paint, shot doesn't draw iron. Yesufu pulls it down and puts it up and in. Ties the game at 28 apiece.
Yesufu getting his work done on the offensive glass, doing the little things in order to bring him success. When he doesn't press the issue, J-Mo, this young man shows you why he's one of the most highly touted freshmen in the country. Take a look at this. Look where he starts. Look at the effort. Look at the athleticism. Goes right back up on a turnaway fade and knocks it down.
We are tied at 28 thanks to a 16-2 run by Baylor over the last 4:49 of this first half. It's a good look at Tunde Yesufu. There's dig in to play some defense. UTRGV trying to regain the lead, which they've had for the majority of this first 20 minutes. Always right to inbound. Drops it into Brankovic. Here we go back to play. 6-minute mark, first half tie game in the season opener. Far side of the floor is Corey Cotton. Drives in, no good, loose ball, out of bounds. Last touch by Kai Dixon and over to Baylor.
And right there, we see Caden Powell switching on the perimeter, switching on to a guard, staying in front, contesting at the rim, getting the block. That is what Caden Powell does for this Baylor team. He alters everything at the rim and takes them to another level defensively.
Here's looking for the lead if they can score on this possession. Cameron Carr. An offensive foul on Baylor. Away from the ball, looks like on Caden Powell.
And that's what Caden Powell shouldn't do. We've seen him tonight already have 2. That's his second moving screen. He has to be stationary. The first one earlier, I don't know if that was really a moving screen that I would have called, but the second one right there, yes it was. He has to have more discipline when it comes to setting screens.
So ball back in the hands of the Vaqueros. Still a tie game, 5.5 minutes to go before halftime. Wright drives in, kicks it back outside. 3-ball, bottom of the net by Kai Dixon.
UTRGV doing a really good job of answering. They still look composed, they look poised, even though Baylor is on a long run right now.
It's a team in UTRGV that set program records for threes attempted and made last year. And they were third or second in the NCAA with 32.2 three-point attempts per game.
Getting them up.
That's sort of their game, and we are seeing that again tonight at the start of a new season.
And when you think about it, that really makes sense. I mean, especially if you're in a game like this. I mean, the one way that you can win is if you knock down a lot of threes. And then if you get more possessions, you speed the game up. That would allow you to be able to have a better chance of winning than if you just try to play half-court basketball with a team in which is more athletic than you and has more size.
Vaqueros are 4 of 8 from three-point range here in the first half. Cam Carr shooting a couple of free throws. First one too long, back iron, no good. Caden Powell to the bench. Michael Ratai back on for Baylor. Another free throw coming. Darren George hands the ball to Cameron Carr. So Carr, the only player for Baylor that was actually here in Waco last year. He was redshirted after transferring from Tennessee. But he didn't play at all last season. 0.0% points returning for Baylor. Isn't that wild?
That is wild, and that's just the day and age that we're in when it comes to college basketball. Roster turnover, who can keep the most guys?
1 of 2 free throws, 2-point game. Make it a 4-point game. Nice feed and bucket on the curl by Quo Agua.
UTRGV does such a good job of when they run ball screens, they move and empty out the backside to completely mitigate the tag. And they've scored on that countless times.
4-point lead. Now a turnover by Baylor, and UTRGV gives it right back. Cam Carr attacks for the Bears. Try to pass it. Another turnover. Carr trying to draw the charge, and he did. Cam Carr gets in position.
You know, one thing that Coach Drew used to always say when I was playing is don't let one mistake lead to 2. Cam Carr threw the turnover, but what does he do on the opposite side, J-Mo? He gets the stop, gets the charge, and doesn't make 2 mistakes back-to-back. That is the effort. That is what Coach Drew teaches and preaches in his program. You make one mistake, do not let it turn into two. Cam Carr, perfect example right there. How to respond when you throw a bad pass or throw a turnover. Young kids watching, that's right there is a good example. Good job by Cam Carr.
Good teaching moment there, King. And drawing charges are really celebrated in this Baylor program, aren't they?
They definitely are.
33-29, spin by Skillings and a finger roll for two.
That's his patented move. Last year at Cincinnati, one thing that I used to always talk about on the broadcast, Dan Skillings, you allow him to get too low. You try to cut him off. His spin move is one of the best that we have in the country in this game.
Dan Skillings Jr., his first points in a Baylor uniform. As King said, the Cincinnati transfer. Look at the athleticism on this spin.
You beat him to the spot, you try to cut him off. He does a good job of using your momentum against you. Dan Skillings pressing circle like he's playing Madden, putting them in a spin cycle. Such a high-level move. UTRGV up 2.
Hitting just 3 of their first 15 shots from the floor. Since then, they've hit 8 of 14. That result is a 2-point game. UTRGV leads by a count of 33-31. Here we go back to play. Baylor's ball, looking to tie or take the lead here with 3.5 minutes on the clock, first half. And Skillings Jr. to Cam Carr, drives in. Shot rolls in and a foul.
The strength right there, J-Mo. Let's take a look at this replay, because for a guy with his frame that looks skinny, don't sleep on his strength right here. Look at this, drives and attacks the closeout. He's getting held on one side, finishes through contact. This is high level. This is not easy to do. Cam Carr, do not sleep on his strength. Good and one. He's so talented. I'm a huge fan of this young man right here.
I don't know how he made that shot.
I don't know how he did either.
I don't know how he got it up there. Now a chance at a 3-point play to give Baylor the lead if he hits it. And he does. Bears lead by 1. It's a career high now for Cam Carr in the first half of the season opener. He's got 14 points. 34-33. Here's a whistle away from the ball, and it's like Obi Agbum will be whistled for a foul. Patterson will tell us. First personal on Obi Agbum. Had a great tournament in the World University Games for Baylor in Germany. Those 6 games, he was the MVP of the tournament. Averaged over 20 points per game. Had one 30-point game for Bears, who were playing as Team USA. Drive, dish, bucket is in.
That's a great dime right there. Get to the paint, play off 2. Quick little dump off to the big, high-level pass right there.
Quo Agua with the bucket. Tunde Yesufu stripped to the ball. UTRGV takes it the other way. Baylor gets it back to Skillings. That's a goaltend. Give the bucket to Dan Skillings Jr. And the lead seesaws back the way of Baylor.
Let's go back to this dime right here. Good drive, and look at the window. Super tight, super small, but finds a way to fit the ball through there. That's a really elite level pass.
Well, Michael Ratai was right there, nothing more he could have done. 1-point Baylor lead, always right. Travels with the ball, turnover UTRGV.
That's a really good call. Tried to take Ratai off the bounce. Tries to stop on a dime and use his pivot, but slid it a little bit. Good call right there by the referee.
There's ball leading by 1. 2.5 minutes to go, first half. Cam Carr between the rings for the Bears. And a steal and a little bit of a lazy pass. Head fake layup, good at the other end by Zay Blake.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Zay Blake. Not only is he scoring the ball, he's playing defense, getting the passing lanes. You saw the pass he had earlier. Zay Blake is not afraid, and you can tell that this young man is going to be very, very beneficial for this Vaquero team.
Came off the 8th turnover by Baylor here in the first half. Here's a three, left side by Michael Ratai. He knocks it down. Baylor goes up by 2, 39-37. Minute 40 to play before halftime. Crowd making noise here in Foster Pavilion. Season opener for both Baylor and UTRGV on the opening night of the college basketball season. Good ball movement around the perimeter, under 10 to shoot. Wild looking three is no good. Rebound Dan Skillings Jr. Puts the ball in the hands of Agbum. To Skillings, drive, layup is good.
That's when he's at his best. Driving closeouts. He's not a guy with a lot of wiggle to his handle. He's a straight line driver that can get to where he wants. When he drives closeouts and puts you in predicaments as a defender, he's high level. He's very, very hard to stop.
Baylor's hit 5 straight from the floor. The ball goes flying away. It's Baylor's biggest lead of the night at 4 points, 41-37.
Take a look at this drive right here. When he goes straight line, doesn't try to go side to side, goes north and south. This young man is so hard to stop.
41-37. Baylor on top. Skillings has come in and not only contributed on the floor, he has fit in very well with the culture of this program. Culture of joy is what Scott Drew would tell you and describe. Yesufu, the steal on the perimeter. Yesufu, layup good at the other end. Baylor extends its largest lead of the first half.
That's where Tunde can make his impact. Great size, very physical. On the defensive side is where he can really, really get things done.
Bears have hit their last 7 shots from the floor to build a 6-point lead. UTRGV looks like they'll play for the final shot of the half. Shot clock's going to catch him here in a minute. Right outside for 3, no good. Skillings the rebound. Up the floor to Yesufu. A 3 in transition is good! What a way to end the first half of his first game in Foster Pavilion. Gives the Bears a 9-point lead at the intermission.
Great execution right there. It all started with Dan Skillings. He got the ball out, realized he only had about 5 seconds, had to get the ball up, kicks it to Tunde. Tunde.
A lot of activity going on. Southland Conference represented by UTRGV tonight here in Waco. And here we go to begin the second half. Bears ball. The Agbum on the perimeter. Hands to Michael Ratai. On the screen of Agbum. Picks up his dribble. Gives to Yesufu. Leaner baseline right is good. Starts the second half like he ended the first with a bucket.
Oh.
Nice
I love the finish.
Nice drive for 2 there.
That's a good finish right there over Yesufu and
Marvin McGee the bucket. And a foul on the drive by Agbum.
Right there, J-Mo, the first 2 possessions by Baylor. You have Yesufu driving to the paint off the closeout. You have Agbum getting to the lane, getting fouled. You can tell early on in this first 40 seconds that Scott Drew at halftime, so they're settling for too many threes. That's the point of emphasis. Both players putting their heads down, trying to get to the lane.
Lead is 10 for the Bears. Biggest lead tonight by Baylor. UTRGV led by as much as 14 in the first half. Make it 11 with back-to-back free throws by Obi Agbum. Give him 11 points on the night and an 11-point Baylor advantage. Here is Always Right. point guard for UTRGV.
Look at Tunde Yesufu really sitting down.
Switch on the perimeter, looks to drive on Ratai, kicks it back outside.
Ooh.
Switch to the left hand, shot no good. Loose ball, Tunde Yesufu has it for Bears. Skillings Jr. to Carr for three off the front iron, no good. Bears hit the boards hard, but the rebound pulled down by Marvin McGee.
Good pass.
Brankovic missed the finger roll, but got his own miss and put it in.
That's a great dime right there. Once again, no backside tag by Baylor. Brankovic misses the first one, cleans it up, gets the second chance point. Good finish. He's just so skilled, J-Mo.
It's his first bucket since the start of the game when he had the first 7 of the night. Makes it 50-41, Baylor on top. Ratai fires it underneath. Yesufu, the reverse layup is good. Great assist by Michael Ratai.
Ratai does a really good job when he's at the top of the key, facilitating and being that point forward.
Near steal by Ratai. Dane Christensen saves the possession. Christensen left wing to Brankovic. Right for three. Yesufu, another rebound for the Bears. Boy, he gets his nose dirty, doesn't he? He doesn't mind getting in there. Three, right side by Obi Agbum is good.
If you can allow Obi Agbum to get it off, being there is just not good enough, especially when he's spotting up. You have to take that away and force him into the drive.
14 for Agbum, 14-point Baylor lead is the Bears' largest this evening. Here's Brankovic. Gets it back outside to Wright, who drives and is fouled on his drive to the bucket.
Let's take a look at these passes. Good dime right here. He misses the first one, so no credit for the assist. But Brankovic getting the second chance point, and right here, Ratai playing that point forward spot. Tunde Yesufu, another good cut. J-Mo, when he keeps it simple, when he allows the game to come to him, he's so effective on a basketball court, and he makes NBA scouts fall more and more in love because of the potential and the flashes that they see.
Here's Caden Powell back on the floor. Ratai goes to the Baylor bench, always right at the free throw line. I'll start a list of great names of players we see this year. Always right is right at the top. That offensive rebound, by the way, by Brankovic, their first offensive rebound of the night. Remember, they had 0 at halftime.
Oh,
how about Skillings Jr., the drive on the baseline and the dunk.
And that's the athleticism that they display in that 2 through 4 spot. When you look at Tunde, you look at Skillings, you look at Carr, they're all similar frames, extremely long, extremely athletic. And right now, the athleticism is on display. Good flush by Skillings.
Bears build the lead to 15. Carr, the rebound for the Bears, and the run out. Drive in by Carr, he is fouled.
And Dan Skillings right here. Nice crossover, keeps it tight, flies in the air. Don't contest that or you'll end up on a poster. Yesufu loses the ball. It does not matter because Skillings is in the right spot for the easy flush.
Gives Baylor a 15-point lead, now their largest tonight, with Cam Carr at the free throw line. First half, Baylor was 5 of 9 shooting free throws. UTRGV was 3 of 3. Free throw good there by Carr. He's got another one coming. Adding to what is already a career night scoring. He's got 15 in the game. Second one's good. He had a career high scoring game in the first half. Now some backcourt pressure by Baylor. Always right, jets into the front court. Right side, Christensen, shot no good. Skillings saves it inbounds to Carr. Carr, the alley-oop, and the flush by Caden Powell. About that break by the Bears.
Cam Carr, not just a scorer, has decent vision. Good pass right there and good flush by the big fella.
His first points tonight on his first shot of the night by Caden Powell. Christensen three is good from the left-hand corner. Dane Christensen, the sophomore from Orem, Utah. Bears lead by 16 over the Vaqueros. 4.5 minutes into the second half. Agbum for three. Well, good, but a whistle and a foul. It's going to be on Brankovic pushing Caden Powell out of the way.
The athleticism of Baylor on display. Look at this right here. Skilling's flying out of nowhere, saving it to Cam Carr. Cam Carr getting by his defender, pushing it in transition. Caden Powell slamming it down with the flush. Baylor's looking athletic. Event like that means a lot, and that's an honor and a privilege, regardless of the result. I mean, you would like to walk away with the gold, but silver is still great, and it doesn't count against your record in the season.
True.
So I think they learned a lot, and I think that helps because you understand how to respond to adversity, or what can happen when you don't respond to adversity well.
And here's the thing, they didn't have their full team. Guys that aren't U.S. citizens could not play for Baylor because this was Team USA. So there were 5 guys that couldn't play for Baylor. Michael Ratai was there, and he played for the German team. There is Dan Skillings Jr., a 3 in transition, a bucket that puts Baylor up by 19 on the night. Biggest lead of the night for the Bears continues to grow. Skillings' big night. He's in double figures. Now 4 Baylor players double figures scoring. Carr levitates and scores.
And I love that right there. One-on-one in transition. He doesn't shy away from contact. He is trying to finish through. And if he could show a replay of that, I think that's just so skilled and so high level. Look at the steal right here. Gets out in transition. A lot of guys you see shy away from the contact. He goes through the chest, plays through contact. The second finish that we've seen tonight by Cam Carr, where he is seeking out the contact. And that's a really underrated skill that I think, once again, to the young guards out there, that's an underrated skill that you should develop. Don't shy away from contact. Seek it out, play through it.
Kai Dixon shooting free throws. First one is good, makes it a 20-point deficit for UTRGV. 5.5 minutes gone, second half of this season opener. Great student turnout for Baylor tonight on a Monday night in the season opener. 2 free throws good, 19-point lead for the Bears. It's 66-47. Here's Isaac Williams, IV, back on the floor. Drives into the paint, kicks to Agbum. 3-ball, front iron, no good. Marvin McGee into the front court for the Vaqueros, who I'm guessing, King, have a long bus ride home tonight.
Man, that's far.
Pray for that bus driver.
That's far. Edinburgh?
Yes.
Yeah, that's far. That's a long drive.
Bucket makes it 66-50 now. Baylor's lead is 16. That was McGee with the last bucket. Ooh, nice dish. McGee has it stuffed by Carr. Backpedals into 3-point territory and knocks down a triple.
I'll tell you one thing. When you're playing teams who shoot a lot of threes at a high pace, J-Mo, they're never really out of ball games. So if you don't continue to step on the gas, this team can easily get back in the game because a few threes, and it's a whole different ball game.
Well, a good example. That's an 8-0 run right there by UTRGV. It's a 21-point lead. It's now 13.
And I remember I did a lot of BYU games last year, and that's how BYU played. They were never out of a ball game because at any moment they can hit 3 threes back to back to back in the span of a minute and 20 seconds. And now all of a sudden, it's a single-digit game if you're not careful. So you have to make sure that you stay focused and you stay locked in on the defensive side if you're Baylor, because the Vaqueros like to get out and shoot threes and play at a very, very fast pace.
Coach Fennell directing his team from the sideline. Bears put the ball back in play.
I've never had more fun saying a team mascot than the Vaqueros. I get to roll the R and show that off.
Could you roll the R a little bit more?
The Vaqueros.
There you go. I like that. Whistle and a foul. That is on Jalen Washington. That is his second. Washington, the 5'10" sophomore from Dallas. So the Bears inbound with 20 on the shot clock. J.J. White back out there for the Bears at a guard spot. Isaac Williams at a guard. Agbaum on the bench. White fires it on the baseline. Yesufu knocks down the triple.
That's a dime right there. Gets the 2, plays off 2 feet, takes his time, throws the dime with the left hand. Next dead ball, we gotta show that replay.
That is 18 on the night by Yesufu. Running hook shot is good by Jalen Washington, who has back-to-back buckets. Baylor by 14, 69-55, nearing the 12-minute mark here in the second half. Ooh, there's a spin by Isaac Williams. He's fouled.
Let's take a look at this right here. Look at where Isaac Williams goes. So he goes down the lane. When he goes down the lane, watch when he stops. He stops and plays off 2 feet. And read this man right here. If you freeze it, this guy right here, the backside defender, when he falls asleep and he's no longer paying attention, look where he delivers that dime. You sink in too much. Isaac Williams throws it on a dot to Yesufu, and he just knocks it down. Isaac Williams is a guy, we talk about Baylor not having a point guard on their roster. He's a guy who the coaches love, and they think that he can turn into that level of point guard. Doesn't shoot it great yet, but I think he has a lot of potential to be able to play that point guard spot, and he's shown flashes where he can do it really, really well.
Foul that put Williams at the line was on Marshall Destramo. That was his 4th, so that bears watching. Missed free throw, and ball knocked out of bounds out of the hands of Michael Ratai, so we'll stay with Baylor. The Bears up by 15, 12-10 on the clock, second half. Baylor will next play Washington. The Huskies come to Waco on Sunday.
That'll be a good one.
That'll be fun. Baylor not in the preseason top 25, only the 3rd time in the last 11 years. Bears haven't been in the top 25 in the preseason poll. But you can sort of understand it with voters, and they look at your roster and they say, yeah, it looks good, but how are these guys going to come together? They don't really know.
100%, and I do think this is a top 25 caliber team. And maybe not early on, but Coach Drew loves that. Coach Drew loves being the underdog and proving people wrong.
9 to shoot for the Bears. Williams firing a 3, no good. Rebounded by UTRGV's Zay Black. All the way, running left-hand hook shot is no good, and a foul on the rebound attempt on Isaac Williams, the 4th. So free throws for UTRGV, the Vaqueros, when we come back.
The teams that should be in the tournament, those 2 teams are my 2 sleepers.
All right, very good. Do we have viewers in Manhattan, Kansas tonight? Sometimes you get a text there.
Yeah, we might. They might be playing right now.
All right. Oh, they could be playing.
Yeah, they might be playing. And Arizona just beat Florida. Koa Pete had 30. Oh, my goodness. You know, we talk about A.J. DeBansta. We talk about Darren Peterson, all these great freshmen, but never mentioned Koa Pete, and he was a top 10 player coming out. That young man is clearly going to be special. 30 against Florida and one of the best front courts in the nation. That's a way to show out. That's a great debut right there.
And that's a nice blow for the Big 12 on the opening night of the season to beat 3rd-ranked Florida. Pass on the baseline, picked off, stolen away, run the other way by Zay Black. Baylor leads by 13. Black drives in, layup, no. Ratai tips it to Cam Carr, who's off to the races. Fouled on his layup attempt. You know, with the Big 12, the Big 12 has had in 4 of the last 6 national championship games, there's been a Big 12 school. Think about that, 4 of the last 6.
That's a great representation right there.
And great consistency also for this league.
And you know what? I think that there's a few teams in this conference who could definitely compete for a championship. You saw what Grant McCaslin did last year at Texas Tech, and you return a guy like J.T. Toppin, who was Player of the Year last year. Christian Anderson, I watched him play Oklahoma in a close scrimmage. Christian Anderson, it seemed like he's taking that next step. I think he's an emerging star in the college basketball ranks. Texas Tech is a team that has a chance to really make a deep run. BYU, former Baylor point guard Rob Wright. You look at A.J. DeBansta. I mean, you look at with some of those guys they could do. Richie Saunders, Keita. I mean, that team is deep. That team is loaded. And there are some teams in the Big 12 that could really compete for a national title. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if I see him at least in the game.
A couple of free throws by Carr gives him 20 on the night. 72-57 is the Baylor lead. Brankovic fires it right side, 3 no good. Long arms of Cam Carr. And there he goes again, layup short, but he's fouled. Well, how many times have we already seen tonight Cam Carr either get a steal or a rebound, and he is burning it to the other end.
Yeah, because he's always looking to attack. And when he attacks, he's not just trying to finish, he's trying to seek out the contact to get to the free throw line. He understands, good basketball players understand how to get to the free throw line. He's always jumping into you. He's always contorting his body in the air to be able to seek out and draw that contact. High-level players understand getting to the free throw line gets you going, and it's one of the easiest ways to be able to put points while conserving energy.
He took a fall there. He's kind of shaking it out a little bit as he gets set for 2 free throws. 10:51 on the clock, second half. First one left it short. UTRGV from the Southland Conference, they did not do a preseason poll. Some leagues are doing that.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I don't understand why not.
You know, okay, I'll tell you one reason why, maybe. The Big 12 did not do a preseason poll in football this year because they felt like last year it hurt the league. Arizona State in football last year was picked 16th, and they won the Big 12, and they felt like the narrative was, well, this is a team that was picked 16th in the preseason. How can they be that good? And they felt like it hurt them and hurt the league all season long. So that's football. Maybe it's apples to oranges, but that's maybe one explanation.
I mean, in the Power 4 ranks, I could understand that. But I mean, how many times do you have a team that's picked 16th finish at the top of the league? I mean, it's very rare.
It's very rare.
It's slim to none, right? That you'll ever really be able to see that. So I mean, I just think that, you know, shout out to Commissioner Romark. He knows what he's doing. One of the best in the business. I don't necessarily agree with that. However,
yeah.
To each its own.
Now, he's a sharp cookie. You know that.
Oh, for sure.
Brett Yormark. Brankovic the bucket on one end, the defense on the other. Tips the ball to his teammate, Marvin McGee. Bears lead at 73-59, 10-10 to play, second half. Uncontested drive on the left hand baseline for a bucket by Zay Blake, who's really turned things on here in the second half.
Look, I'll tell you one thing, J-Mo, UTRGV is not going away.
No.
Baylor is not putting these guys away, and the way UTRGV attacks, the way that they play, they are not going to give up in this ball game.
And Skillings Jr. kicks to Carr, left corner. That one rolls in. The shooter's roll for Cameron Carr.
Damn, Carr once again, so talented.
24 on the night by Carr. Ratai the rebound for the Bears. Skillings. Now to Ratai, drives in, left it on the front iron, shot no good. Three left side, no good. Rebounded by J.J. White. 9-minute mark, second half. Baylor 76, UTRGV 61. Shakes his defender, but his three is off the line. And Marvin McGee, the rebound. McGee gives to Brankovic. Tried to pass it underneath, tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Yesufu.
That's one thing I love about foreign bigs, J-Mo. They're always looking. Their eyes are always up. They are looking for that pass, especially at that point forward spot. We saw Nikola Jokic really normalize that. He started to normalize the way that the Denver Nuggets run their system, but they put him right there at that top of the key area and just let him go to work.
Inbound off the hands of Brankovic, Philip Brankovic, and out of bounds. Turnover, UTRGV. Check turnovers on the night. Still both in single digits. 9 by Baylor, 10 by UTRGV. They just picked up their 10. But Baylor with 9, and that's they had 8 at halftime.
Yeah, doing a better job of taking care of the basketball, and I think that's one reason why they're able to maintain this lead, because UTRGV capitalizes off turnovers because of how they shoot the ball and how fast they want to score.
And UTRGV just had 8 turnovers at halftime as well. They've just got 2 in the second half. Scramble for that loose ball. Picked up by Williams. He put it in, but a foul. And it's going to be on Williams. So the ball goes the other way. Isaac Williams says, who me? Vaqueros ball, trailing by 15. 8 minutes, 10 seconds and counting, second half. There's Jalen Washington on the perimeter. And a whistle and a foul, and this is on Williams again at the other end. Well, that was away from the ball. I sure did not see it, but he picks up 2 fouls, his second and third, in pretty rapid succession. Actually, his first 2 fouls. So 2 fouls on Williams. Ooh. Jumper baseline right is good by Marvin McGee.
And McGee just does a good job using his body, not pushing off with his arm, but using his shoulder to create the separation right there on the baseline mid-range jumper.
Dan Skillings Jr. drives, lays it up, but left it short. Corey Cotton the other way. Cotton turns the corner. Couple of spins, can't shake Caden Powell, and he threw it away. How about Caden Powell making his mark on the defensive end? Scott Drew and the Bears, and played in California, an outstanding career, the #2 player in the state of California, a McDonald's slam dunk champion, but continues to have that heart to give back to his hometown and his home country.
You know, those are that's one of the good stories, one of the positives. When we talk about NIL, I mean, there's so many negatives around that, but that's one of the positive stories in which people don't really give credit to. You know, players making those contributions, 15,000 to where they come from. You can tell he's a mature young man to be able to do that, has a great heart. And that's something he should be really proud of, and his mother as well.
Everyone should be proud of that, giving back to that city and Benin, the country that is located between Togo and Nigeria. I've never heard of that country before learning more about Tunde Yesufu.
You know, I wish we heard more stories like that.
Isn't it a great story?
Yeah, I wish we heard more stories. I mean, there's so much negativity around NIL and these players getting more money than they've ever had before, and this new era of college basketball. I wish we heard more positives, like Lamar Wilkerson at Indiana, giving $100,000 back to Sam Houston where he came from, because he understands that without Sam Houston, he wouldn't have got the opportunity to make all the money at Indiana, right? It's stories like that we need to be highlighting more than all of the negativity surrounding NIL. NIL can be used for positive things. if we shed light on the positivity instead of focusing on the negativity.
That's a great point. I think those stories are out there.
Yes.
You know, you just have to dig them out and publicize them a little bit more.
And it shouldn't be like that, right? It's easy to find the negative things, but it's hard and we have to dig extra deep to find the positive things. It should be the reverse.
Brankovic picked up his 4th personal foul. He goes to the bench. Dane Christensen is back on as Caden Powell shoots free throws and hits a couple. 80-63 is the Baylor advantage with 6.5 minutes remaining. Yesufu, by the way, has 18 points tonight. Started the night 0 for 6. Remember, he was a little hurried up, sped up at the start of the game. Then hit his next 8 shots from the floor to help him on his way to what he currently has is 18.
Well, he tried to force the issue at the beginning of the game. He tried to be that aggressor. You love that mentality, but in your first game, you're definitely dealing with nerves, regardless if he wants to admit it or not. This is your first time on a Baylor floor. I remember my first time. I was nervous, so I know he's nervous. But nonetheless, when he let the game come to him, when he did the small things, offensive rebound, crash the glass, cut back door, that's when he started seeing success. And when you start seeing the ball go in because of the easies that you get, that you created right there, now all of a sudden you see your deep ball go in and you start diversifying your scoring. But he let the game finally come to him and settled in.
Troy Cotton the bucket at the other end for UTRGV. Dan Skillings Jr. misses a couple of point-blank range shots, but he's fouled and he'll go to the free throw line. With under 6 minutes on the clock here in the second half. Mentioned Baylor will play Washington here in Foster Pavilion coming up on Sunday. UTRGV will stay on the road. They'll play at Southern Utah. They're going to put some miles in. They'll play at Southern Utah on Saturday. And then Tuesday they'll play at Boise State, where they finally come home on the 17th and play their home opener against Southwestern Adventist.
And I hope they're flying.
I hope so.
I hope there's some type of flight in there, because goodness gracious. I mean, just from here to Edinburgh is a long trip, so please don't tell me you're busing all the way to Colorado. Oh, man.
I think they have one home game in non-conference, one home game in November for sure. Everything else on the road. Tunde Yesufu gets to 20 points on the night with the bucket in his Baylor debut. 9 of 9 now since he started the night 0 for 6.
Oh, that's high level. I'm gonna need that on the replay, because you don't see this too often. You don't see a big at 6'10" being able to stay in front of a guard, not only stay in front, but take the charge, beat him to the spot. Look at how Caden Powell just sits down. He beats him to the spot. His anticipation right there beats the offensive player to the spot, takes it in the chest. And that is a high-level play that you do not see too often. You rarely, I don't know if I've ever seen in my life, a big be able to take a charge on the perimeter against the guard. Caden Powell, impressive.
Gives the Bears the ball. Here's a drive and a scoop layup, no good by Isaac Williams, the 4th. But a foul, and he'll go to the line. Okay, the other thing about that charge that was drawn by Caden Powell, I don't know if we can go back to it, but he was on the floor after drawing the charge. 1, 2, 3, 4 of his teammates over to help him up.
You know, J-Mo, that's one of those things where, at the Scott Drew thing.
That's right.
And I think it's funny because, you know, so J-Mo, nobody really knows this, but I coach on the side, right? I'm a high school boys varsity basketball coach, the head coach. And there's certain things that you get from your coaches. And that's one thing that I pride myself on. If somebody takes a charge, all 4 have to go sprint over there and go pick them up. And I know I got that from Scott. There's a lot of small Scott Drew things that I've carried over into my very small coaching career as a side quest, which keeps me young. I like that. However, that's one of those things right there that I don't forget.
Good for you. 20-point lead for the Bears, 5:12 remaining. It's 85-65, Baylor on top. Layup no good, fight for the rebound. Michael Ratai and his teammate, Caden Powell, kind of fighting each other for the ball, and then there is a foul in there on Dane Christensen.
You know, J-Mo, I wouldn't be surprised if don't see Caden Powell before the end of this season inserted into the starting lineup. I think he does so many good things for Baylor, and I think that they go to a different level when he is on the floor because of his size, his rim protection, his ability to be able to switch 1 through 5, stay in front of guards like we saw earlier. I think he takes this defense to a different level, especially when you get in conference play and you're dealing with bigs who are 6'10", like a JT Toppin. You need a guy like Caden Powell to be able to sacrifice his body, do the small things, play defense, and be able to stop those guys or at least make it tough.
It's Michael Rataj shooting free throws. First one was short, second one also short. So he missed a couple there. Lead remains 20 for the Bears at the 5-minute mark. Powell, whose mom is faculty at the Baylor Law School here. And for Caden, it's coming back home. Played at Midway High School in the Waco area after a very successful career at Rice University.
He's a smart kid. He went to Rice.
That's exactly right.
That's not an easy school to go to.
And now he's in Baylor.
You got to be a smart brother in order to go to Rice.
Yesufu drives in. What's the call? That's a charge. Yep, charge on Tunde Yesufu.
And those are the plays that just show his youth and that show his inexperience, because right there, when the help side defender slides over, you have to kick that to the corner. And granted, they really weren't guarding Isaac Williams because he's not a shooter, but you still have to be able to at least kick it to the open man, regardless if he's a shooter or not.
UTRGV has 4 players playing with 4 fouls tonight. And this game, unlike the exhibition Baylor played against Indiana last week, you can foul out when you get to 5 fouls. One of the things they did in that exhibition was you can't foul out. And Indiana won it by 2 over Baylor, 76-74. But their last 9 points were scored by guys who had 6 fouls. Would have been out of the game, most likely. So just one of those quirks, you know, not a big deal. Sort of a big deal, not really a big deal.
It doesn't count against your record, so.
That's true.
You're good. If it counted against your record, I guarantee
that's true.
That wouldn't be a thing.
That rule would not have been.
No way Scott Drew was allowing that.
No way. And it was a good experience. They played in Gamebridge Fieldhouse, home of the Pacers. And Indiana had a lot of fans there. They had their pep band there. It was real, like road environment in a big arena, so very helpful for Baylor. Here's Rataj for 3. The shot's no good. Yesufu tips him the ball. He puts it up, and it's no good. But a whistle and a foul on UTRGV. And a timeout with 3:23 remaining. Season.
Jackson has really progressed, but I think St. John's might be a little overrated.
Well, they're sitting there at number 5 in the nation right now. Because Rataj misses the first free throw.
Even when you look at Ian Jackson and former Big 12 player Sannon, Joe Sannon, I mean, neither one of those guys are great playmakers. They both want to put the ball in the rim. There's only one basketball out there, J-Mo.
That's right. A couple of missed free throws there. Michael Rataj just 2 of 6 on free throws tonight. Scramble for the loose ball. And we have another timeout. Now 3:18 on the clock. Bears lead it 85-71.
Time right there. Coach Collin knows what she's doing. That's a great way to start off your season.
On their way back now from Paris, they'll play at home for the first time coming up on Sunday. Back to play here, nearing the 3-minute mark remaining in this game. Brankovic, hook shot, missed everything. Yesufu claims another rebound. Everybody on the floor for Baylor in their Baylor debut tonight. It's an odd situation, isn't it? Have a completely new team. Yesufu, another bucket.
They do a good job just getting to their spots, and because of their length and their size, they can just rise up over the top of you. True 3-level scores.
There's a three from the left side of the floor that is good by Marvin McGee. And a quick timeout by Coach Fennell and UTRGV.
This right here, just a good answer. You don't close out, you get confused on that pin down. They'll make you pay with the way they shoot the ball from behind the arc.
All right, a little backcourt pressure by UTRGV. Baylor leads it by 13, 87-74. As we said, 2 minutes, 26 seconds remaining. Crowd pretty amped up tonight for this season opener on a Monday night. Bears beat the pressure on the pass across midcourt to Skillings, to Yesufu. Skillings knifes in, lays it in with a foul.
A good drive right there. Good play by Tunde Yesufu. Doesn't try to do too much. Baits the defense in, kicks it to Dan Skillings. Look at the bait right there. Allows Dan Skillings a free lane. And because of his athleticism, his length, and his explosion, can explode from outside the paint to be able to finish that layup through contact. I mean, you really see their length on display and their athleticism. You've seen it this whole game. Whoa, I don't know what that was.
It's a little Globetrotters.
So the ref just didn't call it?
No.
All right, that's fine.
He made the free throw,
right,
so we play on.
Don't call it then. That's cool.
15 on the night by Dan Skillings Jr., the Cincinnati transfer. 90 points on the board for the Bears. Christensen went for the dunk, and it was rejected. Starts the break the other way. Agbum to Skillings, shot no good. UTRGV with the ball. Under 2 minutes to go. Here's Christensen again. Gives it away to Marvin McGee. Reverse on the drive, no good, but a foul. It's like Caden Powell will be whistled for that foul on Baylor.
And you know, I really like this UTRGV team, J-Mo. I mean, regardless, Coach Fennell should be extremely pleased. You put up, you got 74 with 1:43 to go. You got some guys that aren't scared. You can score at a high rate. They're going to be a problem in the Southland Conference. If you can put up 74 or 75 plus if you make these free throws on a Baylor team on the road, imagine what they can do against some of the teams in the Southland, night in, night out. Especially with the way they play, cycling through 13 guys, they can wear you down, and if they get hot, you're really in trouble.
Yeah, they haven't had a great night shooting from beyond the arc. If they get that going, you're right, they could be trouble for anybody they play. Zay Blake, free throws there. It's 90-76, the Baylor lead. Agbum up the floor to Skillings. Minute 36 remaining. Skillings cross court to Carr. 10 to shoot for the Bears. Agbum, oh, nice drive. Got around two defenders and laid it in with his left hand.
That's such a high-level layup right there. Good execution right there. Ran down clock, got a layup with under 5 seconds. High-level execution to close out a game.
Christensen answers with a light layup of his own. Inbounds to Tunde Yesufu. Now 55 seconds remaining. Baylor 92, UTRGV 78. Pass to Carr, and there's the exclamation point. Cameron Carr, the jam for 94 points on the night for the Bears. Carr has 28. Wow.
Goodness.
Now 35 seconds to go. Bears lose the handle on the ball. In and out, Carr the rebound.
Good.
Now the shot clock is off.
He just popped up out of nowhere. Can we please get that on a replay? Goodness gracious. Look at this right here. Look at the length. Oh, man. Oh, the explosion, the pop. Ugh.
How about the night by Cameron Carr? 28 points, 9 of 14. 3 of 6 from three-point range, 7 of 9 from the free throw line. Add in 5 rebounds as well. So very solid stat line for Cam Carr.
Yeah, this was his coming out party for the Baylor family. Cam Carr is talented. Cam Carr can play. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Cam Carr in the NBA one day. Ooh.
Well, he has tied Jacoby Walter for most points in a Baylor debut with 28 tonight.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good company.
And that's a guy who's in the NBA, so I wouldn't be surprised if Cam Carr and Tunde both end up in the NBA after this season.
Ty Dixon the three, final seconds. And Baylor wins impressively in their season opener tonight here at Foster Pavilion. Bears win over UTRGV 96-81, the final.